Okay, so that's conversation rather that we were having earlier with Michael. Schools are closed. How do you keep your kids active? How do you make sure they continue to eat healthy meals as even they relax and they enjoy themselves? To help us go through this and probably plan out a whole program or schedule, I have Dr. Esther Dindi. She is a consultant physician. She's a wellness expert. She is the founder and CEO of Dr. Fitness. I mean, her body itself even just says it all. She is the author of book Hot and Healthy. Dr. Esther, it's always so good to have you with us here in studio.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's jump into this. Schools have closed.
Yes.
Michael over here is saying he keeps his children active with the chores, and I'm like, African parents with these chores. But anyway, so let's begin with the meal plan. Does the same meal plan that probably the kids have during when they're going through school during the term period, should it be the same one perhaps that they should also have when they close school?
Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm speaking as one of the parents. I am a mother of 3, and speaking of meal plans, let me say that children have different body needs. They have different nutritional needs from adults. But of course, the basic principles remain that they need to have the 5 a day. That's 5 portions of fruits and vegetables in the course of the day.
5 portions?
Yes. They need to have some milk, at least about 3 cups in a day. They need to have, because that's good for calcium, it's good for their energy needs. They need to have lots of energy, and especially if they are active, and this is what we are trying to promote, of course, to encourage them to be active, and of course protein because they are growing. Basically, they need everything. They need the fats because, you know, they are growing, their hormones, they're way up there, and there's a lot going on. But kids need energy and they need nutrients, just like we do. But it's good to also be cognizant of their different needs, because there are some children who probably your pediatrician already told you that your child is overweight or obese. Then there are some things you need to be more cautious about. And there are others who are probably, you know, not gaining weight very well. So all that needs to be put into consideration. But well, kids need all the nutrients that there is, and they need a lot of energy. So like looking at my kids, I know they love their carbohydrates. There's always rice in my house. They love the chapatis. They love the mandazi. I mean, they're just like any other ordinary kids who looks forward to having some pizza, you know, over the weekend. But it's good to moderate all that and ensure that they're active.
And that's what I was coming to, Dr. Dindi. How is it that we can say, especially now that schools have closed, you know, you want to spoil them a little bit. You want to say, you know what, let's lose, you know, let's go have more ice cream, like you said, have a pizza once in a while. So how do parents strike that balance?
It's not easy, it's not hard. And I think it's being intentional that really counts at the end of the day. So as much as kids need a lot of energy, where that energy comes from is very important. So that energy should not be coming from lots of sodas, the ice creams you're talking about, lots of crisps and all that. But these are things that kids love for sure. So how do you go about it and be able to strike a balance that your kids are not miserable and at the same time you're not giving them unhealthy things? Because you also want them to develop a culture of healthy eating. So the thing is, don't keep these things in the house. Let it be a treat, like they know over the weekend, maybe promise them you're going to have pizza or it's going to be ice cream, it's going to, you know, and choose one thing, not like the whole day they're going to have pizza in the morning, then have ice cream at 10 and have these, and, you know, so make it, you know, pick something different. Actually, sometimes what we do, we just ask the kids, what is it that you'd like to have this weekend? So we're going out, you're going to pick one thing. And we don't force it on them. If one wants a pizza, someone wants something else, let them pick. And it's only one thing. So if you choose to have your biscuits, fine. If you choose to have your soda, fine. So you pick one thing, or once in a while it could be soda and biscuits. Yeah, but don't make it a habit. If it's in the house, they'll keep nibbling on that, and it's not good. Because they fill up and miss out on an opportunity to have something that's healthier.
Here's the other thing with challenge, especially when schools close. Sleepovers. You know, you want to take them to grandmothers. They want to go sleep at Auntie so-and-so's house. And you know, with different households come different rules and different ways of eating. They would probably, those parents or grandmother will not have the same rules of diet. So how do we go about that? How do we water through that? Because sleepovers do happen when kids have closed school.
Yes, they do. And I think it's a good thing, like when kids go visit their grandparents. Actually, mine, they know that you go to see grandma, you'll live as she lives. You'll eat as she eats. You'll work with her when she works. If she's running a hotel, you'll be involved. As in, get them active. But the thing is that it's also good for them to have different experiences. Like at grandma's, probably they'll be having a totally different menu than they have back here in Nairobi. So that is part of living. That's part of appreciating what goes on in other parts of the country and what other people experience. So that is totally fine. But I'm also very cautious about sleepovers, especially in the city. Different homes have different roles, and I think as a parent, you have responsibility to be able to ensure that your child is safe, that your child is not being exposed to things that you not be approval of. So it's good to ensure that wherever they are sleeping over, there's someone responsible, and you know the parents, you know the children, you know their culture. That is very important. And one more thing is that during the holidays, it's some time to be able to spend with the children and bond. So personally, I'm a bit selfish with having some time with my children. So I'm not going to be dumping them here and there as in, like they're a nuisance. So it's good to actually create time and spend with them. Have fun with them. It's an extra responsibility. You're still working, and you have all this going, but that's part of life. 360, it's all around. Okay,
all right. So I will say that perhaps parents like Michael should not be giving chores to their children, but make this this period when we've closed the holiday, and I'm speaking on behalf of children.
I know.
That mom and dad and all of us should actually spend more time. And we can do that through fitness activities.
Yeah, it's true. I think the difference between you and us, Michael is a parent, I am a parent, you are not. So I'm on my side.
Oh, you're on Michael's side now?
I am on Michael's side. And this is because actually, it's good to train children to be responsible. My twins are now 10 years old, and the little one is 3 years old, and they're taking responsibilities in the house. They don't love it. Sometimes, they are grumbling and all that, but they're learning to take responsibilities. They know that when we wake up and go, to work, and life is not easy, and they're responsible. So they do the dishes. Even when the house up is there, they take turns doing the dishes. Whether you want to tear down, you'll still do them, and afterwards we'll have a high five and a hug. You'll have done your work. But it's good. It's creating a culture of taking responsibility. It's a culture of knowing that, hey, when you find the dishes clean, somebody did them.
Okay. Just help our parents and our audience really understand this, because it sounds so obvious, bond with your children during this holiday time. Yeah. But what are the different ways of bonding that are also healthy instead of just in front of a TV and watching a movie? And what does that do to a relationship between a parent and a kid?
Yeah, I think that's where it comes. And when we talk of wellness, just to bring things home, it's not just about how you look and how you feel. It's a mental thing. It's a social thing. So to say that you're fully well, it's not just purely on health in the physical. So being well includes also nurturing the relationships at home, whether it's with your partner and with your children. And I believe that the challenges sometimes we have in the society is because these people grew up lacking something. If someone didn't grow up feeling loved, someone didn't grow up feeling that whatever they have to say really counts, it's going to affect the society. And so for me, it's a very deliberate action that I take to be able to bond with the children, get to know how have you been, what is your latest liking, what is making you unhappy, what do you like in school, or do you like in the teachers, and children will not open up if you don't bond over the small things. Just have playtime together. As much as I give them responsibilities, it's me guiding them as a parent, but there's a friendship aspect as well. For me to be able to guide them, it's from a point of friendship and from a point of love. So taking time to bond with the children is very important. It doesn't matter how many millions you're making and bringing home.
And how much
they need more than resources. Yes. They need love. They need connection. It's more important than the resources.
You've literally walked me towards my next question. It's not even a matter of how much money you're making as a parent.
Money is good.
It's good, but also it can satisfy certain areas of a child's life. And here's the thing, right? Perhaps now that schools close, of course, now children have more time. But for parents, it's not like now you can go tell your boss, okay, I have to be home by 4 or 5, right? So how do we go about, how do we water through perhaps even our own personal schedules and make them a little bit different to fit in to the children's schedule when they've closed school, so that way you spend more time with them. That way, as much as you're making the millions, you also have time for them. You are doing what you say, and the wellness, where you can perhaps spend more time with them. So as a parent, how do we take advantage of that and also change our timetable?
Yeah, a few things one can do. Of course, teachers are very lucky because they can get to synchronize their schedule with the children.
Right.
I mean, when the children are on a break, you're on a break too, you spend more time with them. But as people working 8 to 5 throughout the year, you know, most of the time, then you have to be more intentional. Again, I know I've used this word a lot, but it could mean that after work, not going to hang out for, you know, whatever, that drink with the boys, there's no going out for the night with the girls, then you leave work straight home to spend more time with the children.
Right. So this
it might mean
well,
weekends, you forgo something else for the sake of the children.
Yes.
So it's, to create time, you have to forgo something else and what is more important. I mean, they're on a break for about just 3 weeks. So be very intentional about creating time to spend with them. And when you get home, don't be on your gadget. You get home and you're busy updating your social media, you're typing away your emails. This is not the time to catch up on your work and your own personal things. It's the time to actually sit with the children and just chat with them. Sometimes I even watch cartoons with them, and from there we create conversations. We play together. And of course, me, Dr. Fitness, sometimes we do some challenges together, do squats, do burpees, as in just play, make it fun. As you do that, there's a chemistry that happens that you actually end up interacting more, and the kids gain more trust in you. They feel more confident. They know mom cares, dad cares. They are more likely to open up.
Why is playtime important? As opposed to telling a child, go sit and watch cartoon, why not tell them, switch off the TV, go outside, or become creative, whatever it is with around the house, especially for that period when they are 4 years old to about 13 before they clock properly into teenagehood. Why is playtime important?
It's very important. And actually in that particular age group, from 5 to even late teenage, they need at least 1 hour of physical play, as in playtime. That's their kind of physical activity. People talk about going to the gym and all that. Children don't need to do that, but they need at least an hour of play every day, and that means going outside. So like you've said, of course there are all these gadgets. We have PlayStations in the house. This is the story of my life. There are cartoons, there are all these nice movies that we watch with them and all that. But the thing is that they know there's no watching or playing that game for 2 hours running without going outside. So the thing is, you either get up, do your dishes, or get up, run some responsibility, clean up after yourself, and also go outside. So we are very intentional about saying, no, we get home, hey, have you gotten out today? No, you've not. You find them in pajamas sometimes. Yes, it's parenting, it's that. But the thing is, we actually tell them, go out. And it's just instruction of go out. But if they go out, what are they gonna do? First of all, it's a safe compound. You have to know the kids they're playing with. So the thing is that we get a ball. They have a ball. They can play. They have bicycles. They can cycle around the compound. So you create something. We've discovered what it is that the kids love and provide that, and they actually go out and play. So create an avenue. So sometimes go out, go hiking. Sometimes go to Paradise Lost or Karura or somewhere, but get them active. Once they're outside, they can't stay still. They'll keep moving.
Dr. Dindi, there's something that you had mentioned when we began this conversation, is that children eat about 5 times in a day, right? What happens to teenagers? More so teenage boys, because I've seen a lot of my cousins within that age bracket. They're constantly eating, and they can, it's because their bodies are...
They demand.
Exactly.
They demand. That's why the body needs of a child are very different. And of course, most of the time they'll be consuming a lot of carbohydrates.
So narrow us down, especially for parents who are watching, a diet for teenagers during this period when schools have closed.
For teenagers, I think the simplest thing is that ensure that there's lots of food in the house. If they like rice, let it be there. But teach them to vary. Get sweet potatoes, get bananas, get lots of fruits. Fruits are really good for children to snack on, even the teenagers. dishes. This is because they're getting lots of easy to digest kind of energy, but they're getting vitamins with it, and they're getting some fiber with it, as opposed to getting other unhealthy snacks. The other thing is that, of course, they'll need lots of protein, and for the girls, because they've gotten to that stage, they're losing blood monthly and all that, they need lots of iron. So, of course, there are foods that are rich in iron. We have the meats in there, but you don't want them consuming excessively. So you also need to have vegetables like the green leafy ones. They are rich in iron. And do not supplement unless, of course, you've discussed with the doctor or there's an issue that actually needs that. If you think your child needs, if for any reason you feel that your child is lacking something, then it's actually good to consult a pediatrician or a physician, if someone above 16, and get to know whether there are special needs that need to be addressed. But the thing is that do them. Unless your child is overweight or obese, don't limit them. Actually, I think my kids eat much more than I do overall. Seriously, they do. They go play and come eat.
They have the energy, their body.
Yeah, but they're in normal weight. So sometimes it tells you, because if the body is able to spend that energy, it needs extra energy to still keep moving. So let them be. Don't deprive them. Let them eat, but ensure that you leave them to keep eating healthy, natural, just real foods as opposed to snacks.
What would you tell a parent who is saying, I try with these kids, I tell them, let's go out. And when you go out, they're still on their gadgets, What do you tell to parents who are trying to really bond with their kids, especially during this time, but they can't because they're constantly on the phone? Or like Michael earlier said, you're on Instagram, you have to show you're at the swimming pool, but you're actually not swimming. How would you encourage parents to maneuver through that?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes.
You're not doing your job well as a parent. If that's the issue, then you need to ask your position.
Oh boy.
And it's not like by whipping or whooping your kids. Yeah, but it just means that you're not commanding enough respect, from your children. And it's a tough thing. I mean, there are times I'll tell my son, hey, do the dishes, and I come 5 minutes later. So we have some way of communicating family that it has to happen now, and small things like that telly has to be off until this has happened. I mean, let me tell you about parenting. You still have to be firm, and it becomes easier with time. If you did not command respect earlier, it becomes harder with time. So, I mean, who bought the gadgets?
It's you.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just a matter of, no, I'm going to withdraw this gadget from you for this period of time until I see this kind of response.
All right.
Yeah, it's tough. But tough love has to happen when it comes to parenting. That's the story of my life.
Okay, now here's the thing. Life is also about a matter of striking a balance.
Exactly.
Okay, so the kids go out and they play.
Yeah,
the kids are eating healthy.
You can negotiate.
And once in a while they're getting pizza over the weekend. Why is it also important? Perhaps, and perhaps we might, it's something that we've over-exaggerated TV time or relaxation time. When I mean relaxation time, I just don't mean perhaps you playing a board game with the family, but sitting back and enjoying a proper cartoon with the kids. That entertainment. Why is it also important for the relaxation period that even as much as kids are on holiday, let's not forget that they're actually on holiday. They need to unwind.
It's true. It's true. And why they're on a break, it's break from that routine of going to school and doing homework, and we wake up at this time. So that means being on holiday, they sleep a little longer, they're not being picked early to go to school, and it also means that they go out to play. It means that they get to travel and visit their relatives and friends. So that is what it really means, and it's good to ensure that we are providing this. And the other thing is that, like you're saying, sometimes I do, and I believe many parents should, and it's a good thing to sit even with the kids and watch through their cartoons. And it's even relaxing for me as a parent. It would be relaxing for you as a parent. If you just sit with them, sometimes just get to see what they're watching, laugh with them. And sometimes you may notice some things that are off, and you might censor some things, and it's also a good way of starting conversations, because sometimes as we watch, some of these programs, they ask questions, and maybe there would not be another forum to be able, or a scenario that's painted for you to discuss some things. So it's a good thing. We sit with them. Sometimes my daughter makes very nice popcorn, so she pops corn, and then we just sit. We sometimes we are having what we call the movie night, and just watch and play with them and laugh with them. So it's a good thing, and you can still incorporate activity. Like if you're watching a program that has a break, during the break you can actually get to do something that's fun, that gets you moving.
You mentioned something about a routine. Early in the morning they're picked up. homework, but then during this month holiday period, that routine is broken down.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't that not affect their bodies, their body clock? What does that do? Should you keep them routine if they wake up at 6? Should they also wake up at 6?
They're actually disciplined. Like my kids wake themselves up. You know, they have an alarm and they know this is the time they wake up. The interesting thing is that they're waking up early even during the holidays. And sometimes you have to tell them go back to sleep. I think because they're so used to it, they've just gotten into their routine. You have to tell them to go back to sleep. So, and even they want to stay up late because they feel like this is the only opportunity. So you still have to tell them time to go to bed.